Alright guys, it's Dokkan time again, and today we shall be discussing the suggestions, I mind you these are suggestions, of what you should be grabbing with the red stone, the purple stone, the LR purple stone, not these. And then we'll also be suggesting what you grab with red stones, teal coins, and yes, even the pity coins. We are going to have a moderately quick breakdown, you know? I'm not going to get into super crazy details as to why. I assume you are going into this video knowing what you have in your box, knowing what you're missing, if a unit is worth it. I will make certain you know, kind of side notes on certain units that would be kind of like, hey, why wouldn't I want to choose this kind of thing? So I will go about that as we go throughout all of these. So, we're going to start off specifically with the red coins. So when I put this up, I am going to tell you that I looked through all of these redstone units and I have judged by my personal standards of what I believe to be worth the most bang for your buck. So I really hope you didn't waste all of your redstones at the beginning of the celebration, because now that the Super Easy A for Broly has come out, you know, we have different options. We now know all of our options moving forward. So, looking at this list as I quickly kind of scroll down it, there are some key units in here that are not going to be in my top 5 choices for the redstones. And the primary one, honestly, that really hits the book as far as like the one unit that just didn't make the top 5 for a couple reasons. And it might be just a little bit too early for me to say it because I haven't been able to use him enough, but it's definitely going to be the newly Super Easy 8 STR Broly. I feel like he's good. He's very good, and I feel like he's a support unit, and that's the problem I have with him. And I could say that he's definitely a choice you should be grabbing. If you have every other unit on here, you should definitely probably, you know, grab him. Go for it. But the thing I'm going to tell you about the top 5 units for your redstone choice is going to be the same thing with him. You need to have dupes with this guy, and of course with this guy. Actually, Broly is on the list. I think it would... You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm pretty sure the person I was thinking of was actually Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Because Super Saiyan 3 Goku is good, but just like the rest of his Super Easy Aid brethren and so forth, these earlier ones kind of need more dupes. Broly definitely wants dupes. He is a very much older TUR. He wants those extra dupes because he has more stats that he gets out of it than the average Dokkan unit does. Broly has 7,000 plus stats that he can get up to. And the same thing is with Super Saiyan 3 Goku. But the difference with the reason why I put Broly up here over Goku is because he is a support unit, and he is a needed support unit with his rainbow orbs, and he can, if you gave this fool 3 rainbow key spheres, he is supporting all extreme class allies by key plus 3 and attack and defense plus 60%. If you grab a 4th one, that's 80%. If you grab a 5th magical rainbow key sphere, he's a 100% support. That is insane to me. He's good support unit. Honestly, it's the weirdest bloody thing ever. But, yeah. So that's why Broly's up here. Gotenks is up here because I have found a lot of use for him, oddly enough. I've been dogging on this Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks for quite a while, but when I really start trying to force the usage of him, the damage he can output is pretty nuts. And that's primarily the reason I would suggest him, is because, yes, dupes obviously would be the primary reason, but he does a lot of good damage. Kid Buu is just the flat-out best choice if you do not have Kid Buu. He is a floating support for the most part, and that can do very solid, good, amazing damage. Kid Buu is still, I feel, Arguably, aside from maybe, I don't know, I can't choose between Kid Buu and Broly right now, but as far as Super Easy A's go, these two are the best Super Easy A's in my personal opinion. And then the other two units that I would suggest with the Redstone, if you already have all of the above rainbowed and Sun's Forth, would definitely be AGL Zamasu and then Super Easy A Goku Black. Super Easy A Goku Black and both Zamasu are staples for a Super Boss team, and they both thrive on having dupes. Zamasu, I'll get a lot of flack for, but he's actually one of my favorite Easy A's in the last year. The fact that his stacking damage reduction, he melded very well into the difficulty curve that we've been getting since 9th anniversary. Mind you, he's not like godly and amazing, but you know, he is still very useful. And that is the whole thing about these units on this list, is that all of them are the 5 suggestions I have given you thus far are the ones that I would say have the most value as for a unit to use overall in the current content of the game. It's not that you couldn't find useful choices for a lot of these, especially with future Super Easy A's. I still think that as soon as we get a Super Easy A for the Android 17, he's going to be the best. He's going to be the best freaking extreme unit in the game. And there's going to be a lot of units on here that will get Super Easy A soon, and some that are just kind of dead. You know, like this Jiren and Trunks just straight up dead, and a lot of these Redstone units aren't that great anymore. So, but that's going to be it for the top 5 list of the Redstones. You can take one more last good look at that before we move on to the UR Premium Stones. So, now as far as the UR Premium Stones go, there's quite a few Dokkan Fest units in here. And it's hard for me to tell you not to grab a lot of them, because a lot of these, you know, you can use for a lot of selective content. I've actually used Turles more in the last month than I have in the last year of him being out. And I do love Turles. I think Turles is he's the original evil Goku, and I love him. But I wouldn't say he's the best choice. Kale is unfortunately aged. She needs another Universe 6 buff. We don't need to talk about 17s. Although I do like 17s. 17s are good when they actually work. These two units will be getting Easy A's very soon. I predict they will be getting Easy A's next year. These units came on the arise of Red Zone's introduction to the game. So I expect to see them getting an Easy A very soon. And then there's Majin Vegeta, who's gotten another lease on life, thanks to the physical trio. Kid Buu and this Goku could also be potentially getting an Easy A relatively soon, depending on celebrations. The 1718 is a good Ghost Usher unit to use on certain events. This Princess Trunks here was robbed. It definitely should have gotten an Easy A, and he has not. Physical Goten and Trunks are a must. You can skip Broly. Pycon's a very good solid support. Exchange Buu is very good. And then I'm not really going to mention too much more after that. I've already gone over it too much. So my top suggestions for the UR Premium Stone, if you have them, are going to be these 3. Now, I'm only saying top 3 suggestions because there is a lot on here, and this is technically a paid currency right here. This is for a paid stone. You have to spend like $35 for this stone. The best choices are right here. There is no other choices in my personal opinion. There is other ones, obviously, if you already have these guys rainbowed, but every single one of these units right here, I have used excessively and completely and utterly more than every other single unit in this freaking list. I cannot imagine using half of these units anymore other than for like Battlefield Ultimate Clash. So when I tell you that this Exchange Buu is still one of the best Easy A's in the game, I don't care what Truth or anyone else says. This is still a very good unit regardless of the restriction of needing a Majin Buu Saga unit on the attacking turn, or Majin Power, whichever one. It doesn't matter, because Majin Power and Majin Buu Saga are still very solid category choices that I I don't have a problem running this guy. I don't have a problem running him. Pycon is oddly enough a very weird choice probably for a lot of people, and I'm gonna get that the elephant out of the room now. Pycon is a solid support. He has a Ghost Usher effect. He's going to be getting an Easy A very soon. If not, I would almost bet money that we would see his Easy A in the next 6 months. I would almost bet money on that he would get an Easy A in the next 6 months. And I would say if you already have Goten and Trunks, you already have Exchange Boo and every other unit on this list, then please do grab him. If you do not have him, dupe him up. If you only have him like 55%, I think that would be your best choice. But otherwise, Fizz, Goten, and Trunks have actually absolutely stolen, and I cannot express it that they have stolen the thunder of so many units. This is a very RNG-esque unit, but it's a very good Easy A. It's a very good Easy A. This is a unit that can wipe out bosses just because of how well they stack up and how much damage they can do. Very good defensive options with how high their dodge chance is. They're very good. They're very good. They're very good. But I mean, that's about as best I can say. Is they're very, very good, and I'm very happy that we finally got a good Easy A, especially being Fizz, Goten, and Trunks. You know, Goten and Trunks, in general, I don't feel get a lot of credit. I don't feel like anytime that the units are involved that they get good units or your Easy A's. It's usually only if they're Go-Tanks specifically. So it's nice that the physical Goten and Trunks got the love that it deserved. I at least in my personal opinion. So, once again, one last look at the best premium Dragon Purple stones to be grabbing. The next one is the Premium Dragon Stone 3, which is going to be involving LRs. Now, with the LRs, I do want to mention that I chose these units. The chosen units I have chosen are three. There's three. And I have chosen them based on the usage of the game. I have chosen them based on their relative value and just what you can use out of them. Now, obviously, there's not a lot of units in here. Obviously, LR Broly you can use for World Tournament and so forth. You know, if you really love androids, the LR androids are a very good support unit, you know, if you love running android teams. And then, of course, there's, you know, Omen Goku, which is just a dodge or die unit. There's a lot of units in here, like this Vegeta and Goku LR that fuse into Gogeta. They will be getting an Easy A very soon. So if you don't have this unit and you have every other unit on this list, that wouldn't be a terrible choice to grab. But otherwise, there's a lot of these units I just don't feel like they've lost some traction, like LR Cooler. He's lost so many stonks now that it's not even worth running him, in my opinion. Once again, older content, sure, but he's not really worth the paid currency over the other units, which I'm going to just show right freaking now. These are my top 5 choices for the premium LR Dragonstone. Once again, this is a paid stone. A paid stone. You can only get one, but there's a lot of different choices in here. We'll start from left to right. Buhan is honestly one of my favorite LRs this year. He's been very solid. He's been very helpful. He's very good. His healing, his defensibility, his damage, the way he works just with Majin Power's buffs this year. He's just been very excellent, very good unit. Super Boo's probably an obscurity on this list. People probably will question me on that, and that's perfectly fine. You may choose to do that. That's entirely up to you. But Super Boo, in my opinion, as long as you're fighting the right enemy, you have his guard up, you have him in slot 1, and he's taking a couple hits, he's getting his defense up. He's doing massive amounts of damage. He's been doing massive amounts of damage for a while, and I feel like with the buff to Majin Power this year, and Majin Buu Saga, he's been showing a lot, and he's helped me quite a bit, in all given honesty. He's helped me a lot. Is he definitely wearing down? Yeah, for sure, for sure. He's not the best choice to bring along all the time, but if you have literally everything else on this list, I don't see a reason why you couldn't grab him. Turles Gang obviously are very good. They hit very hard, damage reduction support. They are a very good, solid unit now. And then the LR Broly trio, of course, once again, solid supportive unit, and also a unit that's, you know, staple on super bosses, which super bosses I still feel is very lacking. And then, of course, we have the newly Easy Tech Broly right here in the middle. He is literally one of the hardest hitting units in the game. I think he actually does do more damage than Jiren when you actually have him buffed up with domains, support, and correct rotations. This is a unit that can hit up to 30, 40, 50, 60 million damage rainbowed up and properly supported. So, I mean, he's very good. He's very good. He's very good. You know, as long as he crits. That is one thing I will note to you for this team. I tried to choose units that would specifically be okay in a 55% manner. Also, that is another huge thing because you only get one. So when you look at Super Boo here, he can definitely still be used as like an AoE hitting unit. And I can't stress that enough. His AoE capability is another big pointer for him in my book. Okay. Final Form Cooler, not good at 55. Vegeta Trunks, they're okay, but they need to Easy A now. They've actually aged a little bit. And 55%, they're pretty lackluster. Frieza is good still, but 55%, he's literally just a slot 1 tank, and then after literally like turn 5 or 6 or so, you're dead. He's a very big liability in any form of middle to long-term fights. If it is not literally a short fight that will last less than 5 turns, he will be the one probably to make you lose. To age, Janemba could very well get it. Both of these two units right here could get an Easy A very soon. And I will say Janemba at 55% could be grabbed as he has guard, and once he does Easy A, he's going to be very good again. But otherwise, with no Easy A that I know of to happening in the future, you know, he could definitely Easy A very soon, but there's no guaranteed to it. If he does, he would be a solid choice. And then you have a couple other units like the Super 17 and so forth. These two right here can be good at 55%. Buhan maybe a little bit less so, but he's still heavily supported on Majin Power as long as you have the units and, of course, Majin Buu Saga. All very solid. Here's Kitty. All very solid units, of course. And Turles Gang is a glorified supportive unit, so I don't see a reason not to, you know, have him rocking on the team. You get him at 24 key, he's critting, he's supporting allies, and that's his job. That's it. That he does fine. He doesn't need dupes. Dupes help, but primarily his role in the fight is that he's just a floating support primarily. Omen Goku, Dodge or Die. I mean, you probably already have Omen Goku. That's the other reason he's not on here. There's a couple units in this list that I feel like a majority of players do already have. LR Broly, Limo, and Chilai, Broly Trio, are very good. 55%, they're just a floating support, or manage them, 7 key spheres, and you're solid. Teeth Coup, terrible. Androids, like I said, floating support. Broly can be still good. The only issue I have with Broly is that he is very much only good with dupes, but he is probably still one of the best choices that you can grab out of this list. I just can't emphasize enough that he has very little damage if you do not have him critting. Crit is very important, and he just doesn't have any built in, so that is the primary focus you should be running with him. Yeah, if these boys get a super easy A magically, sure, but otherwise they're just not really worth grabbing. And then it is entirely possible, as the second summonable LR in Dokkan history, that this guy could get a super easy A relatively soon in the future. You know, not before Gohan, in LR Gohan, but he could get an easy A soon, but I don't think he's worth more than grabbing everyone else on this list. So, Here is one last look at this page right here. These are my suggestions. If you disagree with them, that's entirely fine. That's up to you. I do not blame you whatsoever. They're just suggestions. So, moving on to the next list here, we're going to be moving on to coins. Coins shall be the next part of this video. When it comes to the coins, this is entirely going off of, you know what's on, once again, just like I said in the beginning of the video, entirely you know what's in your box, you know what you need, you know what you want, kind of in a general idea. This is more like a solidifying to let you know of what I feel people could grab with the red coins. In general, I feel like you should be waiting. In general, I think you should save your coins for more bigger units. For red coins, I would suggest you be waiting for Tech Ultra Instinct Goku to come back and using your coins on him then. Otherwise, if you already have even 55%, or even if you're missing some of these units, I don't think you should be grabbing anything from the red stones or the red coins. You know, the Fat Boo, Ryukin, you know, you got quite a few units on here, and it's hard. You know, it's really hard to tell you not to grab some of these. You know, like, I love the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. That dude, he might be close to my MVP of this year. I'm not even kidding you. He might actually be an MVP for me this year. He's a very good solid unit, and, you know, Hirudegarn is one of the best extreme units we've had. I assume majority of players have Zamasu and GT Bomb and Z Bomb. I assume majority of players have Orange Piccolo. Like, if you don't have Orange Piccolo, I feel like you just started playing. Like, you really just started playing, and you really got unlucky and did not pull him. And if that's the case, you know, I feel like Orange Piccolo is a solid choice for a brand spanking new player. But if you've been playing this for a hot minute, you in general kind of know what you want. I will say this right here. There is this STR Broly. He is not on my suggestions, but he is only 150 red coins. A dupe is definitely worth 150 red coins. He is definitely worth the dupes. If you have the coins. If you don't have Tech UI, you need to save those coins for Tech UI. And with all of that being said about the red coins, let's just kind of pop up the list. So these are my top 3 choices for red coins. The first thing that probably screams out to you is, yes, Goten and Trunks are that good, in my opinion. Yes, they are a little bit RNG heavy, but yes, they are that good, and they do provide good options. Floating support, if that's how you choose to use them. Dodge tanks, damage dealers. They're very good. They're very good. As far as the Golden Week units of Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Fat Boo go, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, as I said before, is probably one of my MVPs of the year, and he's just helped me in so many instances. If you know how to build a Majin Buu Saga team, if you can build a Majin Buu Saga team, if you have the Super Easy A, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, you know, he's always solid. He's always solid. He's always solid with his damage reduction. Yes, it does wear down, and eventually he gets to a point where he can be a little bit dangerous to run. You know, in those longer fights, I'll typically start floating him, or I'll keep him in slot 1 depending on the boss, because he still does have guard and some damage reduction at that point. As far as Fat Boo goes, Fat Boo is a very excellent choice. I would say that I will say this about Fat Boo. If you have every other single other unit on this list, or if you're only missing a couple units, like you're missing Fat Boo and Goku and Hirudegarn, I might honestly, if you have all the other Majin Buu Saga Extreme units and Majin Power units, I would almost tell you to grab Majin Buu. Majin Buu is very good. He is just very good. And it's his Ghost Usher effect, his Ghost Usher ability, his regeneration, his revive. Fat Buu is very good. He's very, 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 very good. Even at 55%, he is solid. Goku at 55% is very solid as a tank, and even a little bit as doing some decent damage. And then Goten and Trunks, now at 50, I can't attest for Goten and Trunks at 55%, but I can tell you they are one of the best EZAs in the game right now, and I would say a lot of people probably rank them number 1 EZA, if not number 2 or 3. So he is definitely good, but I would say if you had, like really, if it was me, I would choose Fat Boo. I would choose Fat Boo because he has so much utility and usage that he's just that good. Goten and Trunks are good. I don't think they're actually really worth the red coins, but if I have to make a top 3 of recent units that are worth red coins in general, I would definitely have to say that they are one of them. Ryukin is not worth it. I'm sorry. Super Saiyan 3 is my favorite form in the game. Wrath of the Dragon is a very good movie. I love anything that makes Super Saiyan 3 shine. I do not like this STR Ryukin. I don't like the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I'm sorry, I don't. He at 55%, he's terrible. 55%. And he's a dodge or die. He's 100% dodge or die. You build this full dodge or you die, literally. We're not going to talk about the Vegito Blue madness. We're not going to talk about Z-Bomb. We're not going to talk about Super Saiyan Duo Beastless. I'm not talking about freaking I'm not talking about the in Broly right now. Super Saiyan 3 Goku is very good. He is definitely a solid choice for red coins. Hirudegarn is good, but he's lost his place. He's lost his place. After this worldwide download celebration, he was the movie boss unit, you know? That's what his place was, and he's been replaced by Broly's. Broly's, plural. I just don't feel he has much of a place anymore. You want to keep Hirudegarn on rotation. You want him to stack. You want him to dodge. Unfortunately, he's now a glorified floater, a floating big bad boss unit that doesn't do anything else. He's dodge or die, and I don't find a use for him. At 55%, that's literally all he is at that point too. Though I'm sure you can find plenty of use for him. I just don't feel like he's worth the red coins. Especially if you're missing like Tech UI or something. And then of course there's all these other units, but I expect a lot of people to have them. Broly, I would say, is worth 300 coins for 2 dupes if you want to utilize him as a floating support unit or just as a supportive unit in general. I think he could be worth it. But this is entirely like player base, you know? It's really hard for me to tell you how to spend your red coins, and I'm sorry for taking all this time. Because this is a long time. This is a lot of talking. It's a lot of information coming at you. And at the end of the day, I feel like people should be saving their red coins. I really do. But this is the final note before we move on. But you should be saving your red coins. I would say these are your best choices for red coins right now, if you feel like you can spend the red coins. But by no means do I feel like you should be using them. I feel like you should be saving your red coins. I feel like we're right around the corner of the anniversary for 10th that will be shared. And I feel like we're going to want these red coins for 9th anniversary units if you missed those. But if you're not missing much, you know, there's that. With all of that finally being said on the red coins, we are going to move on to the teal coins. Now, the teal coins are a little bit easier for me to talk about because teal coins, I don't feel like you need majority of these units. I don't feel like you need them. I really don't. I don't feel like you need a majority of these units. If you're on JP, you have other options, by the way. If you're on JP, you have options to gammas. If you are on global, however, if you're on global, you have very much less options. You do not get the gammas. Gammas are not an option to you. Unfortunately, this is a very unfortunate thing to be seeing, that you cannot grab the gammas. I wish you could grab the gammas, but unfortunately you cannot. So, on global. And the Super Saiyan Trio is good, don't get me wrong on that. Super Saiyan Trio is a very fantastic unit. I like Super Saiyan Trio, it's one of my favorite units. Unfortunately, they do not do their job very well. I would say if you're on JP, gammas are worth your teal coins, 55%. Just a little reminder that they are a standby unit. They don't do a lot of damage. They are there for support primarily, and you need to focus on giving them standby over STR Gohan. So please do be aware of standby units moving forward, as we're starting to get it quite a bit. Gohan is very good. I feel like Mirai Gohan is still very good with his domain ability. He's still defensively pretty good. I do feel like he is a little bit more dupe dependent now. So there is that to consider when you're rocking him, but I feel like 55% he could still be a solid floating unit that gives you a nice domain if you don't have tech UI. Kai Goku can rot in a grave. Metal Cooler is aged, unfortunately. Broly Trio is very good, though I'm not 100% on saying that they are worth Teal Coins. That's a little different. It's entirely up to the person. If you have the free coins. If I had every other unit on this list and I had like 1,000 Teal Coins, I'd grab a 55% of Broly Leo Trimo, or Broly Trio. Same thing with Turles, actually. The same exact statement. I would grab a 55% of Turles Gang if I had everything else on those lists. Still a solid choice, you know, if I had the coins to be using. I always try to keep at least 500 coins, and if I hit 1,000, that's when I start thinking about, okay, maybe I should want to grab something. Maybe. Do I need a dupe for anything? That's what I start thinking about. Garbage. Once again, if you're on JP, you have the access to be able to get Gogeta on JP. You do not have access to Gogeta if you are on Global. I do not personally believe Gogeta is good at 55%. No, I don't. I feel like Gogeta is very RNG heavy, and I would not suggest him at 55%. I would suggest waiting until he comes back on a banner, and hopefully you can get dupes of him, or you just get an excessive amount of coins. I'm not saying Gogeta's bad, because he's not bad. He's good. But I do feel like he's very RNG heavy, and he is very dupe reliant. Trunks is not worth it. I love the Kid Gohan. Not worth it. Carnival Goku comes back a lot. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Carnival Goku comes back a lot. If you don't have Carnival Goku, go summon. It's more than likely he'll pop up. This dude is... I could have rainbowed this guy 3 times by now. Like, and I do summon a lot. I do. Don't get me wrong. I'm a content creator. But as far as it goes for content creation in general, I really don't summon that much, especially on Carnival banners. And I have pulled this guy so many times. And once again, you know, we have Tech Broly on here, garbage, and then please don't spend any on these guys. So, with all of that being said about these units right here, and once again, unless you're waiting for a unit specifically, I don't see, other than like saving your coins for when, you know, Carnival Broly or Carnival Gohan come back, these would be your, oh, that is not correct. Sorry about that, guys. All right, there's the Teal Coin choices. So these are probably some weird, interesting Teal Coin choices for you. Like I said before about LR Broly Trio and then Gohan, very solid 55% units. Gohan with a domain ability usage, and then Broly Trio as a supportive team for super bosses and movie bosses. And then there is of course, the Tech Broly, who I still feel is very good, but once again is a unit that does require dupes. If you are only going for a 55% copy here for out of all these 3, I would say Gohan or Broly Trio would be more worth your coins than the Easy A Broly right here, because he really does need dupes. And the more I think about it, even as the video goes on, I just keep thinking about it. Wow, I just couldn't imagine rocking him at 55%. Because 55% doesn't have enough crit. And that is primarily where this Broly shines, is having big Unga Bunga damage numbers and then having crit. If he doesn't crit, then his Unga Bunga damage isn't doing much. It's still doing good damage, but it's not a huge amount. 55% could be very... it'll vary. It'll vary per person. It'll very much be very difficult to gauge how good 55% Easy A Tech Broly is. So, with that being said, I'm going to leave this on the screen for just a second here, and then we are going to go over my pity coin choices. Yes, I wasn't originally going to do this. I wasn't originally going to do pity coin choices. I wasn't, but I figured I'm doing everything else, I might as well do these. My suggestion to y'all for pity coins, if you have the ability to grab one unit or even multiple, obviously you want to grab them all, but I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, I really do. I will I will stand by this. I will stand by what I'm about to say, and obviously, I'm gonna make some comments about it, but this is going off of the fact of me thinking you are pitying a unit that's gonna be at 55%, no dupes. You're not gonna have any dupes. This is what my suggestion is. This is my suggestion. You're gonna notice that the quote-unquote best unit in the game, STR Gohan, is not on here, and that is because I do not believe that STR Gohan is good enough at 55%. I feel like you will get more value out of physical trio at 55%. I feel like you'll get more value out of Tech Carnival Broly at 55%. And I feel like you'll still get more value out of Int Broly at 55% than you will Gohan. In order, I would say you should be grabbing the physical Super Saiyan Trio. They are probably the MVP of the worldwide download celebration as far as new units go. The 70%, the 77% support is absolutely insane. The amount of support these units give is just crazy. It's wild. It's absurd. And dodging them, if you have the ability to pity coin these units and you do not have physical trio moving forward, I feel like you will regret not having that support more than you will regret not having the STR Gohan. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Obviously, you can grab whatever you so choose. These are suggestions, but that is my opinion. As far as Tech Broly goes, I like Tech Broly a lot. I feel like he's very good at 55%. He does need to fully build up, of course. But once 55% Broly builds up fully, he is a very solid unit. He is very solid. Slot 1 and 2. Int Broly, however, I do have my issues with, and that's kind of why he's like shadowed in the back here. Because if you already have this guy, if you have this guy, then this is your choice over Gohan, in my personal opinion. And the only reason I'm saying that is because Int Broly, if you have Int Broly, you want to rock double Int Broly. I'm not even gonna kid you on that. If you have Int Broly, you want to rock double Int Broly. Intelligence Broly is a unit that requires the usage of his domain. And the quirkiness of this Broly, and the reason why a lot of controversy I feel has happened around him, other than a couple other points, is that his domain only lasts for 3 turns. So you have to be very careful how you use him, because after 3 turns, you know, you lose out on a lot of buffs in his passive. So I feel like it is more required that you have a double Broly lead, Int Broly lead, than it is to have a double Gohan lead. STR Gohan is a Kamehameha category unit. And although I do believe Kamehameha is still very good, I also believe that running double Fizz Trio is more important than rocking double STR Gohan. I really do. I can't express that enough. I really can't. And unfortunately, in my testing, with 55% Gohan, he is good, but he's not number 1 good. It's like, let's go for argumentative sake. Gohan is not my number 1. I'm not going to officially state that anyways. Let's say he's number 1 at Rainbow. If I had to rank the 55%, I would put him down to like 6 or 7, maybe even lower. 55% Gohan is good, you know, fully link leveled, etc., support, domain, blah, 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 blah. But he's just not doing the same amount of damage. And it's even in his standby. Over 100 charges, and I still couldn't kill certain bosses. That's not acceptable for a unit that I'm literally watching people online with their rainbow and duped up copies getting over 100 charges and one-shotting bosses. The fact that I have to go extra out of the way RNG to hopefully get enough orbs for the 55% to do enough damage I just cannot suggest that you that you focus your priority on him. Obviously, when he comes back, get dupes, use your Teal Coins, grab dupes, and you'll see him be very relevant. I do believe that STR Gohan will be very good for a very long period of time. I don't feel there's going to be a time period where he's not going to be good for the next year. I think he's going to be good no matter what. But as far as right here, right now, supportive units, good leader skills, that's all right here. Gohan is he's a nuclear bomb that's just destroying enemies when he has dupes. And 55% he can still do good, but these units right here, all three of these units are more valuable for their kits, for their leader skills, and for their mechanics than Gohan is, in my personal opinion. For the majority of the game, I feel like these three are more worth it than STR Gohan at 55%. At 55%. I really want to emphasize that when I'm telling you this. When I'm saying if you're going to pity these units, I mean 55%. All right? I'm meaning at 55%. That's what I'm going off of. 55%. So, but anyways, guys, I think that's going to be it. We will go over these slides real quick one more time right now. Redstones, these are my choices right here. And then the purple stones, these are my choices. The LR purple stones, the red stones, teal coins, and then and then we go with these. Yeah. I would say these units are all very good. They're all very good in their own right. It's all personal choice. It's all personal choice how you decide what units you want to grab. Everyone's box is different. Everyone has different amount of dupes. Everyone has different teams they enjoy using. So, anyways, this is a very long video. Hopefully it does help some people out. Some people have already probably used their coins or their stones. Please do tell me what you have grabbed with all of these things. What was your choice? Do you regret it? Are you happy with what you chose to grab? Are you just saving? I kind of suggest saving, by the way, if you're rocking red coins or teal coins. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day and a good night.